This
All right.
conference will now be recorded.
So we decided to take our discussion over to GoToMeeting just for fun because that's what we do. We just figure out which video platform is the easiest to work with and record. Today's discussion on our casual conversations with H&B is a tool that I think that we don't talk about enough because it's new, and it's called Prowall. It's a software that we have been working on for several years now and is now out into the world for you to use as you're working from home to help you know which masonry accessories that you want in your wall. And there's just a lot of cool things that you can have confidence that you know what to use when you don't have to know the ins and outs of everything. Trust me, we know you have more important things to do than just, know the ins and outs of every anchor or every air barrier that's out there and what that can do for you. So we're just going to go around and kind of talk about, how we would recommend that you can use Prowall to help you make your specifications.
So I guess I'll start. Well, one of the benefits that I have seen with this tool, and I've had a few hands-on meetings with contractors, architects. Now, the main use of this tool is going to come from the architectural side. Like I said, the best benefit that I see from this tool is basically being able to go into this program, selecting which anchors, which barriers, which flashings, the whole 9 yards of materials that you want to use. And essentially, it will tell you whether or not that if those materials are compatible with one another, especially in this time when we are all working from home. Communication may be a little delayed. People may be focusing on other aspects of life a little bit more. It's an easy tool to get access to and essentially have your questions answered right there on the spot. And I guess I'll turn it over to someone to maybe discuss how those submittal packages are achieved through the software.
Excuse me, I'll take over for just a minute here. One thing I like about it, you go in, you create a job. So you're going to create an account, you're going to create a job, okay? And right from when you create a job, you're going to tell what building code you're building off of. And this same screen, you can put in your wind loads, depending on if you're building a high rise on the East Coast or a 1 or 2 story building in the Midwest, whatever it may be. You can set these parameters and then install the products into this submittal portal, if you will, and it's going to give you a self-check if you're meeting code. It's going to throw red flags up. It's going to give you warnings. It's just a quick self-check. It's just no-brainer to me. The other thing that I like about it is once you get past that and you're meeting code, like Shay had said, you get your compatibility letter from H&B with the submittal package. On top of that, you can get your lead documents, you can get your MSDS sheets, all in one place, all at one time. The thing I like about it, the design community can use the same platform that the subcontractors are using. They're going to see the same documents. They're going to see the same process from each end of the spectrum. So it's a way for an architect to get in there, build a submittal package, and know what to expect when these subcontractors are issuing their submittals. They can cross-check it that way, that they're, okay, this is what I wanted, this is what I want to see. And it's easy for the mason to say, okay, here's what I have. And right from the get-go, they're going to be on the same page. So that's a good thing. One thing we ought to talk about is the specification language that we can get out of this. I don't know if someone wants to take that.
Well, I was gonna basically kind of touch on exactly what you were just saying. The self-check standpoint, it's got capabilities inside of it that if I design something inaccurate by putting a hot dip with a stainless steel, it stops you from anything that may have a galvanic reaction. it stops you from making those little tiny mistakes that are in the intricacies of the wall, and it will not let you put dissimilar metals together. Not to mention that if an anchor is not designed, like a DW10 is not designed to go with a rigid insulation, it will keep you from doing that. But the number one asset for me for the whole thing, and it's been through the distributor world, coming from sales, I've been pitching it to my distributors before, and the number one thing for them is the way it can generate a report in such a quick fashion, whether it be a lead document, a submittal document, anything. It's a click of a button. There's a big green box that you can't miss. It says generate report for this project, and in 2 clicks, you've already taken so much work. I had one guy, his name's Terry Scoggins out of Atlanta company. He called me and said, this is one of the best things. He's been using H&B for years. He said, this is by far the most innovative and most helpful tool that you guys have ever given us, because he builds all the submittal packages, not to mention when he has to do leads. He said 2 clicks and I'm done. To me, that's the real meat and potatoes behind the whole thing as far as what it'll do.
And another thing too, I think worth mentioning is it might seem, excuse me, intimidating to the architectural community to add another software platform to their portfolio. But we're here to walk any users who want to begin with this system with them through the first steps and provide that guidance, you know, on how to use it, getting your profile set up, going through the procedure, and it's actually quite user friendly and very conducive to getting to the documents you need very quickly. So it's very much like using our Outlook system or our Microsoft Teams. It's very much an intuitive program, and within a few clicks, you're able to put together what you are looking for. Some of the those things that we mentioned in the meeting, like our compatibility documents, lead, anything that's required for your project submission, so that you can excuse me, get your paperwork done and then on to your next steps for the project. So we're very much here to help everybody, the first time user, get set up and familiar with the program.
So where you're going to find that is our H&B website, which is h-b.com. There is a link to get the it just says software, and you'll click on that, create your account, and it's free. And then you'll get to, naming your project and create the wall section of what you've got going on. And so it allows you to either select a pre-built template, or you can create your own, and it's pretty simple to do that. One of the things I really like about it is I think so often masonry accessories are kind of this afterthought, and we just kind of blanket this specification to include anything that might be possibly used behind the wall. And what we're finding is that every masonry project gets put out is unique to itself. There really is no blanket answer for anything. And so what I love about this is you get the ability to build your wall system out, and it kind of helps you know which components need to live in there. You get to pick it, and then you've got this ability to download a spec directly to your computer that includes all of those areas. And what I love about that is then it takes away the guesswork of what you're going to get from your mason to bid to you. So you know that you need this anchor because you have a specific parameter that tells you that. Now you make sure that that's living in your spec the way it needs to, so that you get on your project what you want it to be, and you don't leave it up to chance. And that's it's just another way for you making sure that without spending a lot of time knowing the ins and outs of these products, that you can just know that you're going to get what you need for that project to be delivered back to your owner in the way that you want it built, that you know is going to last. And so it's really a great resource, especially now when you're working from home, for you to just go on, know that you can knock this spec section out in literally minutes and move on to the next thing that you know you've got to get done. Anything else you guys were missing?
One thing that I want to add just to the conversation is through being called out to certain job sites where a designer, they draw the building, it goes through the whole process, they're now in the construction phase. And how many times have we all been called out saying that the design doesn't meet real world applications? So that's another cool aspect of this tool, is that from the very beginning that the design that you're proposing and putting out there for your contractor, your mason to build, it's essentially going to work. Obviously, there are unforeseen complications always, but this gives you a higher chance of basically getting it on the first try.
I like how you talked about different sections of the building. You can do the generic, but I really like how you can break it down specific per elevation. And the reason why is we don't build square box warehouse buildings very rarely anymore. We just cookie cutter buildings. We want these custom designs. We want different facades on different areas of the building, and you can designate a specific system per elevation if need be. You know what I mean? I mean, this doesn't even include getting in there and putting plans in it, and that's just a whole nother division of it that's going to be specifically for the contractors to use. But possibilities are great with it for anyone using it.
Absolutely. So again, head over to our website. There is a section that you can click on to get our software, grab your account, and then reach out to us if you've got questions about it. There's also some great videos about it. We can link to this as well, just so that you have everything you need to keep yourself moving forward while you're working from home. And then once you're back to normal, also just another tool for you to utilize to get things done right the first time, and that you can move on to the next thing. That's what we want for you. So I think with that, we will sign off today. Thanks for joining us.